Well, hello, YouTubers. Sorry it's been a while. Been busy trying to get my shit together. Now, my curiosity is, are you getting your shit together? Have you been watching the underground news? Because the news doesn't tell you anything. But if you research it on the internet, you can find things about Australia, Austria, the shipping containers, Venezuela, Lebanon. All of these countries are having issues. China, they're everywhere, along with us. So let's go to shipping containers. Now, a lot of our things that are getting delivered here are in shipping containers in a big ass line. Now, that line, excuse me. Okay, I think its mouth is shut for now. But what you don't know, and this has been less and less on the news, is that they're holding these containers a couple miles offshore so people can't see them. They're still there. But it appears that it's getting better, but it's not. And they used to make them wait 1 week. Now, I'm not sure why they make them wait.
Better not be touching her food.
Oh, somebody's got a big mouth in here.
Sorry.
If anybody knows, put it down below. I'm guessing that they have to have the right papers in order and the right many people. But if it's always been a week, that's a long time to be out there. Why can't they just get it, dump it in, and go out? So, but anyways, now they're waiting 3 weeks for the shipping containers to come in on average. So a lot of the stuff is not arriving. Now, the trucks who are supposed to get these things are waiting for many of these things to come in. And I don't know if you've heard the breakdown on what happens when the trucks stop. But the first thing that'll go down is our hospitals. Breathing machines and oxygen and that kind of stuff. And after 4 weeks of not being around, it's going to be our water. And there's a lot of things in between. And if you look up what happens when the trucks go down, you'll find this. And it gives you a big list of how it's going to happen. But in the end, the supplies are going to be gone. I mean, in the first week, think about it. As soon as it's on the news, people are going to panic buy. And you want to have your things before that happens. So I'm strongly suggesting to you that if you haven't started, you start and start prepping food for yourselves, for your family, and water, and fuel, and how you going to heat your house, and your pet food. Start. I mean, and there's so many other things. These are just things that are coming to the top of my head. But let's jump over to Australia. Now, Brisbane, and I know this is not in the news, you got to search for it, but they're on lockdown. And if you are next to somebody who comes down with COVID, they go to your house and make you go to a camp. We're going back to concentration camps here. And don't think that we are immune to this, because there's camps in the United States. Now, these camps, keep them locked. You have to stay in a cubicle for 2 weeks. And get this one, you have to pay for it. So there was a girl on YouTube, and you can search up Australia quarantine, you'll find it. And she was working, and one of her coworkers got COVID. And so they called her up and asked her if she knew. No, they didn't call her. They came to her house and said, "Do you know this person?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, well, did you have a COVID test? And she lied. And she said, yeah. Well, they went into the banks and didn't find anything. They came back and got her and made her get in the car and made her go to these COVID camps. And she had to stay there for 2 weeks, and she had to pay, I think it was $2,500 for the 2 weeks that she was there, plus her food, because they don't pay for that either, and you owe this to the government. They do. Now, if you have a family, it's over $5,000, and it goes up according to how much you have. So we're not immune to this. This could happen here. I pray it doesn't. But I want you to be prepared. And my suggestion is, if you don't have to go in public, just don't do it. Get your Peapod, have them deliver it. Go to the store once a month to get whatever you need, if you have to. But if it comes down to it, they're going to want to know where the hell you were. And this girl that I was talking about lost her job. And this could happen to us. And they're making people in Austria get the shot. And if they don't, they're going to be put in jail, basically, and then probably given the shot. So if you're one of those people who don't want it, then you got to figure it out, and you really need to be the ones prepared, because when they first started, they stuck them all in their houses, and they were in there for quite a long time. But now they're hunting them down, and they're coming to their houses, and they're giving them shots. And we would hope that America doesn't do that, the land of the free. But it could happen. So what are you going to do? So think about it. You know, think about what your plan is, because realistically, you're not going to shoot them down, because they'll have more people than you are. So you're going to have to figure it out and stay low. Lebanon right now is, and this is in the news, in their news. So you have to translate to English, but you can find it, and Google does that for you. But they're not having any power, no water. I mean, people think they're behind the times, but they're not. If you go and look at some of these videos from these people doing YouTubing, they have stuff just like we do, and they're losing it. They can't find things. Their shelves are they're emptying on them. They can't find bread anywhere. And there's one girl that keeps you abreast of everything that's going down down there. And if you check her out, you will find the stuff I'm talking about. So I would suggest that you do your own research and look at what's happening in the other countries. And they could be models for us, who knows? I mean, because our president wants to give the shots to the kids. Now, it's already making a lot of people sick. And if you look at countries that have like 80% of their people have taken it, you'll see many, many people have died. And they don't say it's COVID, but when you have a 18-year-old playing soccer and they just fall down from a heart attack, how did that happen? Oh, he got the shot. And newscasters, and there's like a video out there of all these people that are just dying on camera. And wake up is all I want to tell you. Wake up and do some research and just look at things and see how we're doing, because we're not doing good. The electric is going up. You might have seen a news about Pennsylvania and their bills going up, their electrical stuff going up. That's going to happen to everybody. They're not the only ones. It's going to happen to all of us. And if you look at graphs from years before and how the United States fared with oil, gas, electric, all that stuff, which you can find online, you will see that it's going up. We're like double from what we were the year before. And it's all available online. So my suggestion is to figure out what you're going to do if you lose the light and if you lose oil. What's your second source? Gasoline is going up too, and we're seeing that, and it's going to continue to rise. So, I mean, predicted oil prices for in a couple of years is like $80 for a gallon. Now, if that happens, nobody's going to be able to afford to get that. So you might want to think about putting a wood stove somewhere in your house. Because if we don't have any electric, you're not going to be able to use a generator unless you happen to have a solar generator. And that's, of course, only good in the sun months. So it's not going to do a heck of a lot of good in the winter unless you get some sunny days. But I want you guys to do some research and see what you can find out there, because there's so many things going on that everybody is oblivious to, and I want you all to wake up. Wake up. This is your wake-up call. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. And do some research. I want to invite you to go to Magic Prepper's site. He posts a lot of important information, and this is not anything he pulls out of his head. He does research. Alaskan Prepper does research. Gray Man Prepping does research. Prepper Nation does research. These are the guys that you want to follow and to see what's going on with the world. So do your own research, but they'll tell you right where to find it. Now, you know, I can't be bothered with that stuff, but I want to tell you that it's out there. And I want you to jump onto these people's pages. And if you don't know how to prep, start at the beginning of Alaskan Prepper, because that guy is phenomenal. And he's so patient. He's so kind. And you just can't help but like this guy. He's just super cool. He actually personally helped me buy a generator because I didn't know which one to buy. And he will do this for people. So if you need help, all you got to do is ask. I mean, I'm certainly willing to help you in whatever I can do. I mean, I know a lot about prepping. I've been researching it for a few years, but I haven't been doing it as long as he has. I think he's been doing it for 4 years, 5 years. I've only been doing it for a couple. But, so if there's anything that you want to learn how to do, just ask. Or do some research. It's already out there. There's so many things out there. I learned how to can with Alaskan Prepper. He was phenomenal. And he's so easy. He explains, go back to the beginning and follow the journey, because the guy is great. And you would be very proud to be a part of his community, because he's just wonderful. So let's see, what else do we have? We have my little noggin. I don't know. I think it's empty right now. But Dollar Tree is going up to the $1.25 tree or the $1.50 tree. I'm not really sure where it's going. So, but I would like you to go look over there and see what you can get for preps, because that's a perfect place to start prepping. They got your medical supplies. They have, what else do they have over there? They have food. I found rice in a pouch, and it's like a spicy rice. It's actually really good. They had chickpeas Marcella. Tasted like chicken curry to me. But, I mean, it's good. And if there was nothing else to eat, bet your ass you'd eat it. So why not grab a couple? Learn how to can. Learn how to dehydrate. You can do that in your oven. You don't need a dehydrator. 200 degrees. And you can dehydrate pretty much anything. You just got to keep an eye on it. So you got to make sure you're home. You can't just leave it. But things dehydrate fairly quick. I don't know what else. I'm always oblivious, but I'm definitely wanting you to look up how to make your own water filter system. DIY Berkey system. It's on YouTube. It tells you how to make your own Berkey system, which is a $400 unit for about 80 bucks. Totally worth it. Now, the other thing is, have you thought about if we lose power this winter, because we're supposed to have 4 blizzards, how you going to do your laundry? Because sometimes it's out for like a week. So you might want to consider looking at people's videos. Now, I saw a girl who made took a 5-gallon bucket and poked holes in it, and then put it in another one, which didn't make sense to me because you'll see why. So she puts the whole bucket inside the other bucket, and then she makes a hole in the top cover. She puts the cover on it, and she puts a plunger inside with the hole, where the hole is, and then she starts plunging away at her laundry. That's one way to do it. But I mean, really, you could just do that without holes, I'm guessing. Why do you need 2 buckets? I don't know. I'd rather use them for food grade buckets myself and put food in it. But here's what I found. Now, I was doing some research on, because I thought of this. So I'm researching around, and I found this little girl in a tiny house. And she's doing her laundry, and she's got this little mechanism. It's like a 5-gallon drum, and she's spinning away. And this thing is flipping around and flipping around. And I'm watching her, and she put probably a couple days worth of clothes in there. And she said, I don't stand here and spin it. She goes, I go this way, and I go that way. Then I go clean a room, I come back and go this way and that way. And she said, after about an hour, my clothes are clean. And then, you know, you could wring them out by hand. But this little girl was ingenious, because she found this machine for $125 that will take that little load, and you put it in there, spins it out, it takes about 2 minutes. And the water comes flying out of it, and she hangs it on a rack. And she said it takes about an hour to dry it. I'm thinking that would hang it out real good then if it only takes that long. So, and my thought is that because I have a solar generator, we always keep it charged, and we have 2 backup batteries to go with it. So if I had to turn it on for 5 minutes, that wouldn't take much power. Spin it out, unplug it, be done. Yeah, I'm into that. So for about $225, I got this little wash machine and this little mini spinner. And maybe I'll never have to use it, but if I go camping, that could be good. If I'm going to be for any period of time. You know, though, when you go on vacation, do you really want to do laundry if they don't have a laundry facility? Probably not. But if you're going to go hiking it around in a camper or something, it would be great. Very small, easy to stuff away. So that is one thing I thought of. I mean, I'm always thinking of things of what happens if this happens. So I'm trying to find what to do if that happens or that happens. And I come up with many things. Some of them are dumb. Some of them aren't bad. So, but I'm now trying to get my preps in order and see, because I have a tomato area, tomato paste, tomato sauce, beans, and then I have a fruit area, and then I have a meat area. And in my main pantry, which is my pantry that I use all the time, so it's always rotating in and rotating out. Well, my longest term storage is kind of stuffed in the back. But I do need to sort that out and see what I got going on. Because I want everything to be organized so I know what I have and what I'm going to need. And so basically I just want to fill in the gaps. But sometimes I forget to look. And I really should have a pad or something down there that tells me what I took out of there so I know what to put back. But it doesn't always happen. I'm sure it doesn't happen at your house either. Until somebody says, Mom, we don't have this. And you say, ah, shit, I forgot. It happens. Like right now we're out of bread. Though I have lots of frozen bread. And I don't mean, the kind that you have to rise. And let's talk about bread, because bread's getting expensive. And actually, you know, Lebanon is out of bread. What would you do? Now, I've been looking up recipes for bread without using yeast, because you can do that basically. I mean, just flour and water, really. And you can actually make it in a pot, in like a fry pan, with some yeast. And it's like, so do you have like sugar and flour and salt and that kind of stuff hang more than just a little, you know, like a bucket full? Because what if everything gets so ridiculous that you have to start making your own? Is the internet going to be up to figure that out? Or do you have that little book going that says how to make bread? So personally, I think I'd get the little book going on how to make bread and how to make anything that you like. Chocolate chip cookies, if it's not on the package, you're screwed. I mean, most people know the general things that go in there, and I guess you could wing it. But, I mean, pancake mix is pretty easy enough to make, and, I mean, a lot of people buy that, just add water. Sounds good to me. Just make sure that you're storing things well. It's in a cool, dark place. And if you're going to go for an extended period of time, you might even want to put it in a jar and dry seal it. Now, a lot of those sealers have an extension that you can buy, which mine didn't have one because my mother gave it to me. So I bought one, and you can plug it into an area that for dry canning, and you can suck the air out of a jar. So that's cool. And I use my little seal bags all the time. And I do all kinds of stuff in that. But I think I like canning the best because it preserves well. Though I got to tell you, you got to check your lids, because I had moldy carrots. It's like, what the hell? Something's wrong with those. And I pulled it out and the seal had popped. And I said, son of a bitch. So now I'm trying to be better about checking my things. But I had an entire lot that was sealed on the same day, and they all popped. So you got to be careful. So unfortunately, I had to throw all that shit away. Well, I didn't throw it away. I gave it to the dogs. But if you're not careful and follow all the rules of canning, which that was an experiment lot. And that's, I think, wise, because you just don't know until you try things out. And, but I've already discussed it. It's fine. I won't do it again. Just got to make things a little, you know, that inch headspace. Sometimes you got to do more. And with my kielbasa recipe up there, yeah, you got to do more, because that was the one that popped. And I had 3 or 4 of them pop because the sauce is so saucy. It just went up under the lid and then made it all sticky, and it didn't stick. And it gave me a false seal. And you don't really know that until it relaxes. But you know what the funny thing is I was sitting down in the basement because that's our like smoking room, and I hear pop, 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 and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And sure as shit, that's what happened. So I said, okay. So, but you learn. I mean, anything saucy, you're gonna have to go lower, because otherwise you're in trouble. If you're gonna hear pop, 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 pop. So, but that is it for now, guys. If you have any questions or anything, please, I'll help you. No problem. You want to get started with prepping? We can do it. You can do it. And my biggest thing is go to the dollar store and see what you can get there first. Take $50, because I know money's hard and it's going to get worse. That's why I'm saying do it now. Things are going to get worse. So this is my wake up video. Everybody wake up and see things are going to get worse. And get your shit in order. That's all I can say. Just do it. God bless. See you soon.